Martial. Herrera. Ibrahimovic! Oh my God, an insane goal! I've just seen the most insane goal I have ever seen on a football pitch. Balotelli. Aguero!
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Soccer Sharps, a soccer betting podcast. And Jordan, we are here. It has arrived. The Club World Cup group stage begins on Saturday down in Miami, Florida. Here in the States, it's nice to have games on during our daytime instead of some weird 2 a.m., 3 a.m. kind of thing. This should be a lot of fun. We've got official plays coming to you guys, and we're doing it slightly different than we've done it in the regular season, where Jordan and I are going to be giving separate plays. It'll all go onto our spreadsheet. We are always accountable, but we are going to track our individual records for this tournament so that we can talk shit to each other. That's pretty much the only reason for it, I believe. Thank you all for being here on the live stream. We're excited to get going here and start breaking down some of these. How many official plays do we have, Jordan? I think you have about 3 and I've got 6. Is that right?
That's right, Dev. Yeah, you're going full tilt, round 1. Letting it all hang out.
Counting my money, baby. Well,
love to see it, Dev. And look, I'm ready to get into this tournament, Dev. As it's ramped up, as we're getting closer, I've been getting more excited about it. I don't like the naysayers, the poo-pooers. Sure, it's a cash grab passion project for Gianni Infantino, but who cares? There's going to be some great soccer on display out there, Dev, and I can't wait to watch it.
Well, theoretically, great soccer on display, but we see that on Sunday, the game that you and I are going to, which is going to be featuring Paris Saint-Germain and Atletico Madrid, is going to be 90 degrees Fahrenheit out there in sunny Pasadena. Kickoff at noon, hottest part of the day. That stadium, if you've ever been, is just a giant bowl, and there is nowhere that is safe. There is zero shade. And it's gonna be very warm for the Parisians. Maybe not as much for the Madridsters. I was gonna say Madridistas, but that's wrong. It's different Madrid. Anyway, that'll be exciting. We will break that game down because we gotta have plays on it. We're gonna be in attendance. You kidding me?
Yeah, I'm gonna have
give
to
some extra plays.
Lock in all my bets before I go to LA because you're in that dead zone where they don't allow gambling out there. Come on, Governor Newsom, get off these federal issues and let's get to the gambling, man.
Yeah, it's not like the state of California could use extra tax money or anything, for unhoused or whatever riots are going on. We're just gonna sidestep the riots and head right to sunny Pasadena.
Get the politics out
here. No politics here. I just want to say, as an Angelino, someone living here, riots is incredibly overblown. This is like a 4-block section of downtown Los Angeles. I live in Hollywood. I haven't seen anybody. Aside from the freaks, the psychopaths walking around on the streets. But that's par for the course.
Part of the scenery, yeah.
So this is a good time to tell you guys, if you want those extra plays Jordan's talking about, that sometimes we have to see the lineups before we can give these plays, different player props, that sort of thing. Hop in our Discord. There are links in the description of this live stream as well as podcast if you're listening. Hop in that Discord. You can see all the plays that Jordan likes to give out, although he's suddenly being conservative now. I only have 3 plays for the first few days. You got to put your money where your mouths are, Jordan. And then what else? Yes, follow, like this video if you're watching the live stream. We've got over a dozen people in here. So if all of you just throw a like on this live stream, we'd appreciate it. And please follow us on and like and subscribe and do all those things on all the platforms. And now I'm getting tired of hearing myself talk. Let's get into the plays, baby. Let's dive in to our first matchup. We're going to take a look at it, and it is the first game of this tournament. It is Al Ahly against Internacional de Fútbol Club Miami. Just reading off the crest. I don't think anybody calls it that. Inter Miami. This one, they are at home, theoretically, because they're playing in Miami, but it's at the Hard Rock Stadium where the Miami Dolphins play, not where Inter Miami play their MLS matches. But they are home favorites in this one of 1/4 goal, and the total is set at 2.75. And Jord, this is our first matchup, and I'll tell you, does anyone know what to expect here?
Not really. And certainly Infantino didn't know what to expect. He thought this was going to sell out. They're slashing prices. They can't give these tickets away, Dev. They're doing college discounts. You buy one ticket for $20, you get 4 complimentary tickets to go with it. That's $4 a ticket. So, huge disaster. Maybe schedule Inter Miami to play somewhere else in the country where people can't regularly see them instead of in Miami where everyone's probably already seen them if they wanted to. And maybe don't make the opener against a team that most people in the country have never heard of. But hey, I wasn't consulted on this. I'm just here for betting. And I have to say, Dev, that I think this one could be pretty exciting, right? We've talked a little bit about it on the previous show that Inter come into this in suspect form, certainly defensively. Questions about their aging players, Messi included. And then this Al Ahly team, kind of an unknown, right? Very successful overall in the last several years in their home competitions and in their continental competition. What will they bring to the table? I'm hoping it's just kind of an exciting match where we see some goals and it's not a cagey opener that we do sometimes see. I will say that while first rounds can be pretty cagey in these summer tournaments, the first game, the opener, is often pretty exciting for whatever reason. It's maybe just a gambler's fallacy or something, but it does seem that way. And I think this one could follow suit, Dev. I think we could see some fireworks here, but I don't think it's going to get out of hand. So my official play for this, Dev, I'm going to take that both teams to score. You can see it on the card there listed at -163. I want to get that price a little bit better, so I'm going to tack on under 5.5 goals. No matter how exciting an opener is, I don't see it getting to 6 goals. So both teams to score, yes, and under 5.5 for me, Dev.
I don't know, Jord. I don't know if I like putting the under on there. Because, look, we don't really know what this tournament's going to look like. And this is a good time to tell you guys on the betting show, don't gamble on this. We're going to because we're degenerate weirdos. But it's hard to know how this is going to play out. Inter Miami, they don't have a defense. They're letting everybody score on them. We've seen both teams scoring across all competitions in 8 of the last 9 Inter Miami matches with over 2.5 goals in 9 straight. They have not kept a clean sheet in 10 straight. They don't have a defense. So I'm pretty sure Al Ahly is going to get on the score sheet here. And then you look at the other side, you've got, Luis Suarez, you've got Lionel Messi. These players going forward who are past their prime, but they can still put a goal in. They can still play some delicious football. And I assume Miami will get on the score sheet. So I'm with you, Jordan. I'm with you on the both teams to score, -163. But I'm going to tack on the over 2.5, okay? Because I think this thing could get to 3 goals at least, and I'm cashing at that point. So I don't love going with the under 5.5, Jordan. I'm going to go with the over 2.5. We've also seen over 2.5 goals in 5 of the last 7 Al Ahly games. And you mentioned, well, it's not going to get to 6 goals. I'll tell you, the past 3 Inter Miami MLS games have all gotten to 6 goals. 5-1, 4-2, 3-3. So I think there could be some fireworks in this, and I just feel a little bit safer getting that 1 extra goal as opposed to taking a gamble on the under.
I hear you, Deb. So we're looking for that happy middle 3 or 4 or 5 goal game.
There you go. There you go. We can still both cash. We'll put both of these plays into the spreadsheet, even if they are slightly oppo. I think we both think the same thing there. So let's move on, George, to our next matchup. It's going to be on Sunday, and this is the game we're going to. Look at this. It's Paris Saint-Germain against Atletico Madrid. This one sees Atletico Madrid as half a goal underdogs, and the total is set at 2.75. Jordan, these two teams we didn't see meet in the Champions League this season, but they both have the Champions League pedigree, and this could go a long way to deciding who wins this group. What do you think about this matchup in sunny Pasadena, California?
Well, Dev, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to attending it, and looking forward to gambling on it. But again, got to get those bets in before I leave the state. I'm really hoping. We talked about this group quite a bit when we did the preview show. And I know you picked PSG to go all the way in this tournament. We both had them winning this group. Now, you can get them to win this group at -138 on the money line, or, on the group winning line. But this first game is what it's going to come down to here. Okay, because both of these teams are most likely going to get 3 points from their other 2 games in this group. That should be no issue. So this is the one that should decide who wins the group. If you like PSG to win the group, just take them here, because if they don't win this game, it's unlikely that they win the group. It could be a draw, and then it could come down to other things. But that's my biggest fear with this, is that it could be both of these teams understanding that they, if they lose this game, they could be in trouble in terms of winning the group. How much does that matter to them? That's another one of the great unknowns. So we just have to go with what we think here. And traditionally, when teams meet in this sort of situation, they do kind of feel each other out a little bit. They're a little bit more cautious because they know the importance of this particular game. So I got to go with my heart and my head in this one, Dev. I want to see some fireworks, but I do think it could be a little bit cautious, so I'm going to rinse and repeat here. I'm going both teams to score, -150, and I'm tacking on under 5.5 goals, Dev. Same play as the last one for me. But I do also have a prop. I got a prop.
Well, before you get to your prop, let me say something here. I mean, geez. Jordan, I hear you on that. I think both teams do score. I worry this is going to be cagey. I worry the weather's going to affect it. These guys are going to be like, oh, it's so hot. Oh, my gosh. It's 32 degrees Celsius. I always hear the England players complaining about that, and I'm just like, God, that's so soft. But yeah, Jordan, for me, it's all Paris, right? I've said before, I think this is the best team in the world. I don't think that's a crazy statement. The question is, do they care? Do they want to pull this off and have an absolutely historic run where they won every single competition available to them? Because that would mean winning this thing. They've won 5 straight games across all competitions. So I'm just going to take them on the money line here, Jordan. -114. I'm sorry, -118 on the money line. And this is a good time to tell you guys. That if you're betting on certain books, I'm not sure we can say their names here. Can we say their names? That's fine.
It's better not to.
Okay. You can figure it out on our Discord if you guys want to join. If you're betting on the money line, you get the 2-goal cushion. If a team goes up by 2 goals, it's an automatic cash. It doesn't matter what the other team does in the remaining who knows how many minutes of the match. If you take them on the Asian handicap at -0.5 goal, it doesn't matter. You don't get that early payout possibility. It's actually, I'll pay the 4 cents to get that just possibility on my side, because I can see Paris coming out here hot, scoring a couple goals. It gets hot for them later on, and Atletico come in and do some business on the back end. So hard to see how it's going to go. I think these two teams are the best in the group. Could see a draw here as well. That makes my Paris moneyline bet a little bit scary, but I'm just going to go with my gut and say, I think this is the best team I've seen. I think they should win this game outright.
I like it a lot, Dev, and I have to say that one of the things I thought about with this game, it's what leads me to my prop bet, is that the way that Atleti might set up in this match is similar to how Inter Milan set up. We know Simeone does like to use a back three with wing backs on the sides. I think that in better practice than what Inter did, that can be effective in curtailing PSG a little bit. Certainly Atleti have more legs than that Inter team did at the end of the season. So I think there could be periods here where PSG are a little bit frustrated, and they're probably going to be taking shots. As we see, they tend to do in a lot of their matches, a lot of shots. So PSG team total shots over 15.5, coming in at -120. I like that because, you know, if Atleti does set up anything at all like Inter, we saw how many shots PSG got away in that Champions League final, and that was a final, for crying out loud. So to get 16 shots here, I could see it. So I'm going to take that bet. Also, I didn't put this as an official play, but it's cashed in several games for PSG, and they keep giving it to you at a ridiculous price, and that's for Achraf Hakimi to have a shot on target. I believe it's +120 for this game. It's just been printing money for me in these PSG games, certainly down that back stretch of the Champions League. So if he starts this one, I would love that, but we just don't know who's going to be playing these games.
Yeah, that is the great unknown, Jordan. We're going to have to see those lineups and then start yelling at people on the Discord like, bet this, bet this. Because if it is some big rotated lineup for PSG, suddenly my money line bet I'm not going to love. But I'm I also kind of hate that we're going to be at the game and I got to cheer for a side. I kind of just want to see goals. So maybe I should have just taken that for the fun aspect of it. And I'm not sure if you threw this on the screen already, but Bob D says, "Time to cook." Is that a Breaking Bad reference?
Jesse.
Well, George,
Hell
let's
yeah.
move on to our next game here. And this one also kicking off on Sunday. It is Palmeiras against FC Porto. And this one's lined as a pick, and the total is set at a low 2.25. George, it's not often that we get to see Brazilians taking on the Portuguese. So this one has some intrigue of its own. Palmeiras currently the top of the Copa Libertadores table, finishing their group stage matches for that one, and I believe they are third now in the Brazilian Serie A. FC Porto, their season finished in a little bit of a disappointment, didn't do a ton in the Europa League, and I believe finished third in their domestic cup. Beep, beep, beep. I'm going to check that, but I'll pass it over to you, George. So what do you think about this matchup with two Portuguese speakers?
Yeah, this was one that I didn't really have a play for. I kind of just trying to read the lines here of what the bookies are telling us, right? This is the lowest total we've seen so far, under 2.25 or over or under 2.25. Pretty low total for either of these teams to score twice. Huge plus money there. Kind of tells you what the bookies are thinking. Both teams to score no is the favorite. So, you know, these aren't teams I know well, so I'm going to guess this is probably kind of cagey based on the numbers, reading the tea leaves. Excuse me. Oh, God.
Just malfunction there? What the hell happened?
I'm going to pass it to you because you have a play for this game. What did you see?
Jordan, I'm taking Palmeiras as a pick here. I think it's fairly safe. The pick or the draw no bet market there on the Asian handicap, -103. Look, I think this Palmeiras team is good, and I'm not so sure about Porto. They just had a long season. They finished third in their domestic league. They did nothing in the Europa League. Palmeiras topped their group with a perfect 9 points from all of their matches. Is it 9 points? No, that doesn't make sense. How many points would it be? Oh, boy. Anyway, they had a perfect winning. They had a perfect winning record from all matches in their Libertadores campaign so far, and they are third over there in the Brazilian Serie A. So I think this team's good. I think they have a lot to prove. I think they're in better season form because they are in the middle of their season, actually only the first third. Catherine Beefheart says Palmeiras has a terrible logo. I disagree. I like it. I think it's classic. Gets the people going. But for me, George, that's the main thing. Porto finishes a very long season. They go off and they have international duty. Some of the players for Palmeiras do as well. But I just think they're going to be a little bit fresher, and I think can outlast this one. Could definitely see a draw here, as I think these are the two best teams in the group. But I like getting the value on that pick market, -103, Jordan.
Fair enough, Dev. Fair enough. Hope it comes through for you, baby.
Baby, let's move on to our next matchup, also on Sunday, and it's Botafogo against Seattle Sounders. I've never gotten to do the American soccer voice.
Love it
for these things. This one sees the Seattle Sounders as half a goal underdogs here. They are playing in Seattle, though this is at Lumen Field where the Seahawks play. Not the home stadium of the Sounders. And the total is set at a low 2.25 once again. Jord, what do you think about this matchup? We see another MLS team facing off this time against Brazilian opponents.
Well, Dev, maybe the Sounders have a little bit of a home field advantage here as the underdogs as well, getting a half a goal on this thing, right? Home dog. We do love a home dog here at the Soccer Sharps Incorporated. But I don't know these teams well enough once again, Dev. And look, maybe I'm still shook from how our Euros campaign went last summer, especially in the group stages. But the opening round of some of these tournaments can be brutal, and you just don't know if you're coming or going. So I'm being pretty cautious in this first round. I'm going to get, I'm dipping my toe in with a couple of plays. Next round, I hope to have more for you guys. But, Dev, one thing I do have to say is Botafogo is a disgusting word, right? Botafogo. You have all these Brazilian teams with nice-sounding names. Palmeiras, Fluminense, Botafogo. It sounds like an insult. He would call some Botafogo, pinche Botafogo. Disgusting.
Oh my God, I have to look up what Botafogo means now. Actually, can you do that? Because I'll start talking here about
Yeah. Tell us what
the
you had for
bets,
this.
Jord. Although I love your accent work there. Listen, I've done cursory research on some of these Brazilian teams, and Botafogo are the Brazilian Serie A champions of last season, now facing off against a Seattle Sounders team that mixed bag. They lost their last 2 matches heading into the tournament here against arch rivals Vancouver, and they had 2 red cards in that match, so maybe that had something to do with it. But the games that Seattle seems to have a shot in winning are the low scoring ones, right? When it's a 1-0 or so. If the scoring gets out of hand, they get smoked. So this is going to be tight, I imagine. This is going to be cagey. Make you think you like the dog, but the way I'm approaching this tournament, Jord, is I'm just saying, you know what? I think the MLS is bad. I don't think they're any good. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and just take Botafogo here because I think the Brazilian, as I mentioned before, well, actually, no, both of these teams now coming in mid-season, so they are fresh in that sense. But I think Brazil's better. I think the level's higher. There's levels to this game. We talk about it all the time, and I think the MLS clubs are going to get exposed a little bit here. Yes, it's in Seattle. That makes you think maybe the Sounders can do something. Maybe it's raining. The weather's terrible. Could be all those things. But it's not going to be that hot, which I think will be good for Botafogo and these other teams traveling up there to the north. So
right on.
Give me Botafogo on the money line here, Jordan.
Botafogo on the money line, Devin. I did do some research for you here. I still think it's a disgusting word, but Botafogo, nothing could have prepared me for how hard this goes. Botafogo means set it on fire.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. Might have to
We're
get
called
a
Set It On Fire. That's our name.
Yeah. Love the chaos of it. And that's what this tournament's bringing. It's a bunch of teams that we normally don't cover here, and we're taking stabs on bets. I don't think I've watched one singular minute of MLS action. I did watch the LAFC versus Club America play-in for this, but I have not seen the Sounders. And look, there's dissent in the camp because they're not getting paid very well, these MLS players. It's a shame. MLS is a trash league. And we move on to our next matchup, Jordan. This one sees Bayern Munich against Auckland City.
Not bad.
Trying to process
a little more. You
New
got to
Zealand
think. What's that band that
Flight
did the
of the
HBO
Conchords.
show? Yeah, think them.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
Do you
'Cause
mind?
It's not down under. It's
It's a little
bit different.
Auckland City. I'm gonna do some work on it. Give me some time to work on
Next
that
round,
thing. But
yeah.
Jord, this is probably the most lopsided line we're gonna see in this tournament. Well, maybe not. We'll see how it gets once it gets kicked off and the bookies catch up to what's going on here. But it sees Bayern Munich, the champions of Germany, minus 4.5 goal favorites. That's insane. The game total is set at 5, a flat 5 on the Asian handicap here, Jord. So look, Bayern Munich minus, I think, 10,000 favorites to win this match. Huge favorites to win the group. Auckland City have a chance here?
No, I don't. I don't think they do. Just, call me a skeptic. I'm just parsing the lines here. It does not look like they have a chance, Dev. And look, we've already taken up 25 minutes. I don't have a play for this game. Tell us what you saw in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to be a sick fuck here, Jordan. I'm going to take over 5 goals in this match, minus 121. You can take the team total for Bayern, minus 5.5. I'm sorry, minus the team total, 4.5, but it's minus 150. So you'd have to play over 5.5 on the team total to get to plus money. I think it was like plus 120. But I'll take the push possibility if they only win this 5-0. I will say, I think Auckland City might get on the score sheet, and if they do, I'm loving this over. I don't think they've seen anything like Bayern Munich. We've seen Bayern Munich. They routinely put 4 and 5 goals past Bundesliga opponents who know what's coming. Look, if it's Harry Kane out there, if it's Jamal Musiala, if it's Joshua Kimmich, if it's Kingsley Coman, if it's Alphonso Davies, I can keep listing all their incredible world-class players. who love getting shots up. And once that first goal goes in, it's just going to be blood in the water, and it's going to be an onslaught, a blitzkrieg, if you will, from the Germans.
I was going to ask you if you considered cutting the game in half due to the total, like maybe playing the first half, but the lines are even worse for the first half. It's like you have to take Bayern to score like over 3.5 in the first half. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So this is probably a stupid bet. If you're listening to this, the smart thing, the smart gambler move would be to zag here, take the under 5. But again, I just think the level is too great. I think this is going to be a bloodbath. And so I'm just taking the goals. I'm not going to take Bayern to win by 5. I think Auckland might get on the board. That'd be nice for them. Score a goal against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, not the best defensively. They play an incredibly high line. It's going to just be an onslaught. So that's what I'm banking on here. I'm banking on at least 5 of those go in. So I'm going to take the over 5 goals on the Asian total here. If it gets to 5, I can't believe I'm saying these numbers out loud.
It's wild, I know.
Any like professional gamblers watching this are going to be like, this guy's a fucking moron.
Hey, we are professionals, mate.
Yeah, that's true. Somewhat. I consider myself more the host. But over 5 goals in the match here, minus 121. You got to get to 6 to cash it, but I think they can. It's Bayern Munich against Auckland City. Why not?
All right, Dev. Let's root for goals. Love it.
Hell yeah. Let's move on, George, to our first Monday matchup, and it's Chelsea against Los Angeles Football Club. And this one sees Chelsea as favorites of a goal and a half, minus 1.5. Total is set at the flat 3 here, Jord. And LAFC, unfortunately, doesn't get to play in Los Angeles, which I think would have helped them out quite a bit. They have to travel to Atlanta for this one. At least it's a dome where they'll be playing indoors, don't have to worry about the weather. But what do you think about this matchup, Jord, with Los Angeles and Chelsea traveling to Atlanta?
Well, Deb, I think this could be a fun one. The first thing I want to say is apologies to anyone who's viewing this. I got the group wrong when I made the graphics card there. This is Group C, continuing on from Bayern's group there. Or no, Bayern's group. Oh, this is Group D. This is Group D. So anyway, it's not Group A. That's the takeaway if you're viewing this. Anyway, everything else is correct on the screen. I think this could be a fun one, Dev. I actually, LAFC is an interesting one. Of all the MLS teams involved in this tournament, for some reason, I could see them doing pretty well in it. Maybe because I think they could do pretty well against the other teams in this group. I do expect that they'll probably lose this game, but maybe they could stick it out on a neutral field here and kind of frustrate Chelsea, keep it tight. Plus 1.5 on the Asian handicap was something I was considering. I kind of wanted to pull the trigger on it, but just so many people talking about how bad the MLS teams are just made me a little bit scared. And once again, I took my coward's way out and said, I'm going to absorb data points in this first round and take that into the second round. So once again, nothing from me here. Dev, what did you see?
I think I'm once again looking at the goals here, Jordan. Honestly, I sent you my card, and I don't even remember what play I had for this. Do you?
You have both teams to score and over 2.5 coming in at minus 150.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so that both teams to score, you could play on its own, minus 110. As I think about this now, it's making me a little bit scared because I'm not sure LAFC score here. In fact, I think they probably don't. So I don't love that play, honestly. It might just take the total over 3 goals, and if it gets to the 2-1, I think that's lucky, because I think Chelsea will score quite a bit, at least a couple of goals here. You got to play them to get 3 for that team total over 2.5 at plus 120. Los Angeles, solid. They got some names we recognize, right? Hugo Lloris in goal. They've got big, tall, handsome French Olivier Giroud up top there playing the number 9. So some guys we've heard of. Are they past their prime against this Chelsea team? Really rolling into form at the end of the Premier League, was picking up some really nice wins against Manchester United, against, I know they lost to Newcastle, but they beat Liverpool, who was looking for. Liverpool in a 3-1. They won the Conference League. I think they're rolling into this one with a lot of depth, a lot of guys they can bring out and just trot different team players out. This is one you want to check lineups on, because I'm not sure Chelsea is going to start their strongest lineup here. I think they might get a look at some guys, give some of the international players a little bit more time to recover. before they get into this. But it's a good test, I think. This is a great litmus test to see what is the MLS level, because LAFC, pretty solid classic MLS team here, coming up against Chelsea, who qualified for the Champions League from the Premier League, and also a storied club. So I'll be watching this one, and it might just be, I think it might get out of hand, honestly, if Chelsea start rolling here.
I like it, Dev. I like it. Yeah, I think this could be an entertaining one. I hope it is. I hope LA does something here. I see in our chat, Catherine Beefheart asking, is MLS just a way lower level than the Euro teams? Yeah. All the world's best talent gets snapped up by Europe. There's just the money disparity, the wealth of the clubs over there. They grab all the talent, and then basically some of the South American teams tend to have good talent, and then the Europeans take them after a couple of seasons. So sometimes the South American teams can be frisky, but basically a European Champions League level team taking on the MLS would be like an NFL team playing against a Canadian Football League team. So maybe that's harsh, but I think that's pretty close.
It's not bad. That's not a bad comp, Jordan. But look, we've gone through all the games that we have matchups for. I'm sorry, all the matches that we have plays for. And as always, please hit a like, subscribe, let yourself get notified every time we go live here, and you can check out all of our plays as we continue through the group stage. We'll be back on Monday, I believe, to preview more games. We got more plays for Tuesday, Wednesday, going on through the week. We're going to be doing this at least twice a week for you guys, so be sure to subscribe. But Jordan, before we get out of here, there's something we got to do.
We do indeed, Dev, because it's one thing to talk about these matches, and it's quite another to put our money where our mouths are and pay the bookie.
Chuck, I'm going to tell you something. You have that fucking 200 in my hands tomorrow. If you ain't got the 200 in my fucking hands tomorrow, I'll break every fucking bone in your body.
Well, Jordan, go ahead and throw up the official plays on the screen. And for the first time, we're dividing them by each of us as the hosts here. So I'll read mine off first here. We've got Al Ahly against Inter Miami. Both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at even money for me. I like that bet a lot. Starting off the tournament with a bang. We move on to Sunday. I've got PSG on the money line here. Like, I think they're the better team over Atletico Madrid. I'm just going to take them to win the game, minus 118. Also on Sunday, we've got Palmeiras. We've got them as a pick, also known as the 0 on the Asian handicap there at plus 100. That evening, Sunday evening, we've got Botafogo. Light it on fire, baby, on the money line.
Botafogo. Pinche Botafogo.
Minus 120 there against the Seattle Sounders. Early kickoff on Sunday, we've got Bayern Munich against Auckland City. Over 5 goals on the Asian total, minus 120. And then there's my play. Okay, this makes more sense. This is what I wanted for that Chelsea versus LAFC match. Chelsea on the money line, they gonna win the game. And over 2.5 goals in the match, parlayed together, comes out to minus 115. And Jordan, I'll let you read your plays here.
Right on, Dev. I also have a play on the Al Ahly Inter Miami match on opening day. Got to have something on it, right? Like you, took both teams to score, but a little more cautious, going under 5.5. So we're looking for that sweet middle there, 3 or 4 goals, or maybe even 5 in that game. Then I've got PSG, Atletico Madrid, both teams to score and under 5.5 goals once again. That's coming in at minus 120. And finally, a little prop bet on PSG for their team total shots to go over 15.5. So 16 shots or more for PSG on the day, coming in at minus 125.
And that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much to everybody who joined in live, giving your comments, giving your feedback. We love to hear it. If you are watching this on YouTube right now, please leave a comment down there. Let us know what you think of these plays. What are your plays? I mean, share with us. Jump in our Discord. You can chat with those guys. They've got all kinds of plays in there. Degenerates, let's make some money, says Darren. No, thank you for that one. And Jord, before we get out of here, any last words for the people?
I would just like to once again thank the people that joined us live for tuning in, and anyone who is watching or listening to this after the fact. We do appreciate it. Hopefully we're going to do a match day vlog, Dev, when we go to the game. I think that might be fun. Actually cut together a proper YouTube video for the people. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new to the show, so you can look out for that. We'll let you know if this tournament's a disaster or if it's actually going pretty well. We'll let you know right there from the stands. We'll be there tracking it. So, yeah, as Dev said, we'll be back again on Monday with some more bets for the next round. And, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. As always, bet responsibly. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose. And have some fun with the damn thing. It's a long summer, plenty of soccer, and it just never stops, baby. So manage that bankroll.
Never stops. Plenty of money. And Jordan, I'll look forward to seeing you, buddy. Coming out here to Los Angeles. You'll be staying with me.
Can't wait for it, Dev. I can see that couch in the background. It looks like it's got my name written all over it. Can't wait to see these freaks outside your window you're talking about.
Oh yeah, baby. It's Hollywood. I'm in deep Hollywood. If for anyone listening, I've just doxed myself. But that's going to do it for us, Jordan. Until next time, everybody, let's make some money.
Let's make some money.
Martial.